No, you have to. No, you wanna hold the button down. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter if it's blinking 12. That doesn't affect. Yeah. No, you have to hold play and record at the same time. What?
We just got the new Vinegar Syndrome 4K version of Deadly Games. We gotta watch this right now.
Dude.
They'll call back.
That was my mom.
Yeah, she knows where you work. Alright guys, here we are to talk about Dial Code Santa Claus, aka Deadly Games. Deadly Games, 1989. Lee, had you seen it before?
Also, aka Game Over, I believe it was out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course not. Who has ever seen this before? That's a ridiculous question.
This movie is French, only available in French. So if you're not down with subtitles, this is not going to be one for you. But for even those who are apprehensive because of that, I would say this is one to check out. If you liked Home Alone and Die Hard, this is kind of a mix of
that. Like Remote Control, like a few other
Remote
ones.
Control is just a ripoff of Home Alone, so yes.
I think closer almost in a weird way.
Kinda. Yes, you have this brilliant kid who's also like obsessed with like Rambo-esque shenanigans, traps and bullshit, who lives in a gigantic mansion with his grandfather and mother, has to fend off a, what would you say, a criminally insane Santa Claus?
I'd say Deadly Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Sure.
And honestly, that's almost all I would need to ever hear to be super intrigued. Just looking at the cover of this movie, I'm like, oh shit, what is this?
Yeah, I don't think it quite lives up to the cover. The cover makes it seem like Kung Fury or one of those things, right?
They did work the shit out of that cover.
They worked us, yeah, exactly. But it's so weird that I think you need to check it out. But if that French bit and it being older and like you need to like this is not like, you're probably not a normal person if you're here, so I don't have to say that really every time. But if you're like, it's not for like a normal person to watch. This is for like a cool person to watch, as like whatever we've just described. It's Home Alone, but instead of the wet bandits, you have Killer Santa Claus.
Yeah, and doesn't pull punches. There's some like extreme shit in this movie.
Well, because it's foreign, so it's like for adults, even though it's for kids. So it's got that vibe of like. No, I think there's a lot to unpack and talk about here that we can get into.
I give this a hard recommend. I think this is. I give it. And I'm not a person that is into subtitled movies. I don't particularly care for foreign films. This jumped over all that shit, and I'm like, no, dude, check this out.
I'll give it a softer recommend than you, I think. Yes, but I'm shocked because you're usually like a not into the subs type of guy.
I super am not. Yeah, especially because I usually watch things like on treadmills or in my bed, both of which I don't usually wear glasses.
Gotta read!
So to have to wear glasses is a thing.
Yeah.
But no, this was worth it, I think. So if you've seen this or don't care, false over spoilers, and if not, pull out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
Alright guys, so here we are for the spoilers of Deadly Game, Game Over, or Dial Code Santa Claus, whatever you may call it.
Goes by many names.
It goes by many names.
There are those who call me French Père Noël Murder Mystery.
So this movie's nuts. It has all the things that like I would generally need to check boxes here, where it's like oh, it's got miniatures, it's got crazy sets, like clearly built things that are not just like, oh, we were in a mansion, like they're in a warehouse building sets and passing it off as like things like, and I love it. Like this kid has like a toy chest room that is like a pirate ship. It has like a bridge, a plane.
Wait, let's not overstate or like understate this. There's a cavernous place full of toys.
It is a full warehouse,
which he indicates is like his father's toys and his father's father's toys.
Yeah.
This is like his birthright of toys is in this room, and he's saying that to his grandfather who lives with them, who's like, "What is this place?" Where it's in his house, he doesn't know what it is.
The grandfather is the mom's dad.
Yeah, but neither of them know about a room in their house.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
That's insane.
Honestly. Well, they drop like off the cuff like something where he's like, oh, no more making secret passages or blah blah blah.
I think she said holes in the something. It's like
he
Swiss
makes
cheese.
a trap door.
Yes.
Well, that line was weird too because it's subtitled because it's French, and she said like the subtitles say like that's looking like Swiss cheese, but we can hear what she says, and she says Gruyère.
Pas trop d'expérience, hein? Et puis arrête de faire des trous dans le parquet. La maison ressemble de plus en plus à un morceau de gruyère.
And I was like, is Gruyere even have holes in it? I thought Gruyere was like that weird soft cheese.
The French do not like the Swiss. No.
That actually might be true. I know there's a lot of European people that have problems with other people.
They had to change
I wonder.
the name of the cheese.
That's Swiss cheese erasure.
Cheesegate,
Yeah.
1989.
But no, he makes
no.
things and modifications to his house that are completely ridiculous that you could not do without the knowledge of an adult. Because even if you were skilled, we see him fixing a car and he's networking and putting
hacking.
like cameras and bullshit.
Yes.
But you need items to build things. Like the sheer weight of it. He's like 12.
Have you considered that he's rich?
No, he's very rich.
I'm joking.
And
yes.
that's what enables any of this to be plausible in the first place.
Yes.
But the idea that they don't know about it, like they're not signing a check to like, I need someone to bring it. He cuts the idea that there's a trap door, like there's a floor underneath that. Where is that going? Like he's in a chasm that's just like a netted thing that's like meant for safety to catch his dog, which he does. But then later on catches like murderous Santa Claus, and then doesn't like push the button and seal him back in there, like trapping him to die, which. That's what you do.
There may not be a button for that. He has it.
How does it get reset then?
He has an armband.
Yes.
And whenever he does anything, he has to press a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like very, he doesn't have.
But he's not even a master of his own
properly.
thing, because at one point he like accidentally puts the house in lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh no, Pepe Le Pew, whatever.
Mommy, s'il vous plaît. Yeah,
but it's like fantastic because it's so outlandish. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's like literally fantastic.
Yeah,
it's like
fantastical.
Yeah, like again to underscore, there's a cavern of toys that they don't know about.
That
and
you
like,
enter through a fridge.
Yes, that
or a pantry.
That no one. Yeah, and there's so like part of me expected this to end. Believe it or not, because okay, it begins. He sleeps in a plane with a fan blowing on him all night, which is insane.
I'm gonna have to bail. They're on my tail. Engine 3's on fire. I'm gonna have to bail out.
And the dog has like aviator goggly things on. It's this insane thing, and he like suits up. There's a montage.
Yes.
Fake
Rambo suit up.
Fake Eye of the Tiger starts to play. Fake European Eye of the Tiger starts playing, and he's like putting on the war paint. He's all like glistening. It's very creepy, and he's putting on like
baby
oils
and
stuff.
I'm like, what's happening?
I'm like, this is so strange. And then he starts like commando flanking down these potted plants. And there's speakers where it's playing like the sounds of war.
Yeah.
Brr, 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 get down! Oh my god! And he's doing all these things. So I thought like part of what's happening here is it's like, oh, when you're a kid, like the world seems bigger than it really is. And when you play, things seem real.
Okay, so you thought it was his imagination,
yeah.
which is appropriate because it's imaginary, it's not real.
Like later on, much later, he gets lost in an art gallery in his own basement.
Well, it is a designed maze that leads to his mother's office.
But
and I was like, that's her plan. Don't bother me, son. I put a maze to get to my office.
But it has all the art gallery like lights and like paintings and things up, and they do the aerial view. It's this whole gigantic production. Again, like in a way that I like, which is not the way the movie intends. As a kid, things don't make sense, and you're like, how could this be happening? Oh, it's so big, and I my little brain can't comprehend it. But no, there just is a maze.
Yes, no, there's a physical maze,
basement.
and the way they can do that
nuts.
pan out you're talking about is because it's just built in a warehouse.
It's just a built
There's
thing.
a part where he's in a dumbwaiter that is just in a warehouse because it would mean that the walls have these big, huge, empty chasms because it's just him in this like structural elevator going straight up.
Yeah, we should show that because it's like just. This happens too with their garage, I think. They're just using a light to kind of like indicate a room where there's just like a thing. Yes. But again, this is not all pointing to it being like a dream sequence.
No, nothing is a dream.
He didn't slip and fall and he's in the hospital the whole time and all the people he's seeing are really just like oh that's the doctor and that's the no, none of that's going on. This is all really happening. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone who wrote this had a slip and fall accident because just in general, a lot of things just, what? So if we may, at one point he's with his friend and they're on a computer and they're talking to Santa Claus, which is presumably using this service, this dial 345 Santa Claus, whatever it is.
I knew the number, 3615?
3615.
And this is the classic from like every, Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Père Noël, qu'est-ce que tu veux, Thomas? Pilou, viens vite, il a répondu. Alors t'existes? Oui, puisque je te réponds.
You do like the Santa tracker, or you do like the Santa chat, or like the Santa call, like you do the thing where someone pretends on the other end to be Santa.
Yes, but it goes to a random terminal in like a kiosk in the middle of a town center.
This is like an early internet public terminal where the villain of the movie is on there talking to kids like he's Santa Claus.
Yes, and it's weird because he's not painted as strictly a villain. He seems to be like a simple guy.
I should say antagonist. Yes.
And like he just wants to play a snowball fight with the kids. They don't want to have him, and then he's just talking to the thing, and then they lose connection and whatever. You can't tell him where he lives. But it just so happens the kid he asks, "What's your address? I'm coming to see you." That he doesn't get it. Gets a job as a town Santa at a mall that's open till fucking late as hell on Christmas Eve.
Because his mom owns like Hyper Mega Mall Corp or something, and we need more Santa Clauses. Let's go, and does the whole thing.
So he gets a job, and like he freaks out on a kid who pulls his beard and like slaps her. And,
well, real quick, he was stroking the kid's face.
Oh, very rapey. Very rapey.
Very creepily. And the kid was like, "You're not Santa Claus," and like ruins everything again, mirroring these.
He had like a warlock beard. It wasn't even a Santa beard, but maybe Santa in France is different.
I think Santa in France also has a pointy hat, whereas Santas here have like a rounded hat. Right?
Was he wearing a pointed hat?
The Santa hats are pointy, but there's a weird African artifact idol mummy in the like mom's study that has a curved Santa hat on it. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Wait, in the study, the one that is next to like an elf-looking thing?
Yeah, fighting
I believe
Link.
that is part of his Dungeons and Dragons game.
Okay. Wearing Santa though. Yes.
Yeah, that's like a Krampus or something. I liked that, especially how it's framed in the shot, because like it's like the same size as him based on where it's positioned, and it's this thing like you're used to this Dungeons and Dragons game, and now it's real. You must be the fighter.
Okay,
and that.
It's like scary Santa Claus with a plucky young young adventurer with a it is doing that.
It's cool.
But rounded hat, you see. That's what I'm keen.
Okay, rounded hat.
No, there's several pointy Santa hats, I think, but like the main Santa also has a pointy Santa hat.
So he gets fired for slapping this child.
As you do.
Directly by the mother of the child that
who was
he was
walking
talking
by
to.
and just decided to save, right? Yes.
So he goes, "Oh, you're fired." He goes up to be fired. He sees the guy talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, all the boss's kids' presents are downstairs." So he hijacks that guy's thing. Really, he just rides in it and then kills him, and then kills the caretakers, and then proceeds to be like, "I'm gonna kill everyone in this house."
Again, like not that it's a secret how like rich the kid is, but they even make comments like, "Are these all for the thing?" Oh yeah, man, it's crazy.
Potentially
blah, blah, blah.
3 pallets, I think.
Yeah,
worth
just
of toys.
mad toys, all
well,
going
to make
there.
up for him, to make sure he believes in Santa, because this was the first year that he might not believe.
This is the real crisis of the movie: is he has to believe in Santa Claus is real.
Well, I thought the perfect thing, and it almost reminds me of like Santa's Little Helper, where the crux of the movie plot is based on a lie the mother tells. Yes. So where in Satan's Little Helper, the mother says like, "Oh no, there's no Satan, but maybe dressed like a whatever," and they see the guy dressed up. And this one he says, "Oh, you don't want to see Santa because if you're not in bed when he gets there, he'll turn into an ogre."
Oh no!
Yes,
and
if Santa
I thought that
catches
was
you, he turns into an ogre. Yes,
if they didn't reiterate it at the end, I hated so much that it comes back at the end.
These things bother you?
Oh, I hated it.
I agree.
And every plot point that was ever spoken gets reiterated at the very end.
Yeah, when
let the movie speak for itself.
Cherchez à voir le Père Noël. Sinon, il se transforme en ogre.
People are dumb though.
I agree they're dumb,
you're aware of this.
but I loved that because it was this subtle, almost throwaway line that's completely true in the movies world anyway.
I appreciated the reiteration.
Oh,
what I didn't like was a similar visual one where like Santa's I think literally running at him, and then like the frame slides over to show the dog or like the trap door again to make the kid like, oh, there's a trap door there. And you have to hit the thing. That was crazy. Yes.
No, that was bad. But you mentioned the dog, dude.
Yes.
That gets from that moment, the movie gets like very real.
Exactly.
So like the dog, senses or Santa coming down the chimney, starts to bark. Santa, as this thing comes at him, stabs that thing to death with like a cake knife.
Yeah, like the cake cutter weird thing, which is Santa's weapon for a while. No, like he's like kicking the dog. You're kind of like, wow, the boy's hiding under the table, and he's kind of like, shut up, stop it, no, it's Santa, what are you doing? And then, and like he kills it. And yes, I agree.
You like see it,
and that's like either the beginning of the second act or the end of the first act. It's like 30 minutes-ish in, and that's when shit gets real. When anyone who is
Super
at
real.
all curious about maybe it's all just a big joke, it's like, no, this is crazy.
He runs to his grandfather's room. This Santa's breaking in through the door. You're like, oh shit! Like this just turned. This is serious. I felt that way again when like Santa knifes the kid a bit. I'm like, oh shit, he just got stabbed. And then the worst, like, I need a crutch. Like, what the fuck?
Yes, he makes a crutch out of a chair, and it's a weird, like, thing happening
Very
there.
weird, very
But,
weird.
like, when he gets stabbed, it's not just, like, this superfluous thing because he then needs a crutch.
Yeah.
And he's, like, dragging his body around. His leg is just limp there. Like, this is not a weird, like this is where it differs from, like, a Home Alone or like a Remote Control even, where it's, like, because, in some of those movies, like, it's kind of like a, like a meme. Like, you're trying to kill that kid.
But they never actually hurt the kid in any way.
Yeah, but it's like LOL. This is like, oh no. He's literally trying to kill this kid.
Like the kid's thigh. You're like, oh shit.
Yes.
Like
and then
the
laughed,
kid has
I think,
that
like, oh my God.
that Predator, but it's just like an alcohol wipe. Like, it had some fun stuff here.
But there's a montage. You're right. Part of making the crutch is like tending to the wounds, setting more traps, doing all these things. It goes really deep and really hard on this concept.
The trap set part is where it falls apart a little for me, where like he's just left to his own devices for a long period of time, and like it would have been nicer to see the house being like the house is huge, have that guy wandering around it. Because like it kind of, he's able to do so much, and then just like set the trap hits him, he leaves, sets the trap hits him, he leaves.
I would have liked for there to be a reason why Santa's indisposed, because Santa gets messed up a few times in different ways, but it's generally not explained like, what, why does he not just run into the room he saw you run into then and keep chasing you, right?
And by the end, like the makeup's kind of fallen off. Or like, he's not burned anymore. It's just like black smudges.
Yes. They just go like, it's like red, black, like just on his face.
A little lame.
Yes, agree. Santa is crazy though. I mean, like, he's crazy and he's also crazy. There's a lot of time given to like, he like sprays his beard white and stuff, and that's the whole thing.
I love that.
Okay, I was gonna say, I like that too.
I loved it because it looks so like odd and creepy.
Okay.
I wanted them to play more up on that shit's highly flammable, and at one point he gets lit on fire, and I would have loved like and like burn his beard
off
away,
and stuff. Yeah.
like make him look almost like the Hills Have Eyes guy. Like that would have been really good.
That would have been extremely extreme.
Yeah.
He ends up looking messed up though. He ends up in the mud. He ends up.
Yeah. Well, so does the boy.
Stuff. Well, yeah, but he's got like the stringy, weird hair.
Mm-hmm.
He comes out looking like Creepshow, looking like whatever, doing the whole thing. The like progression of Santa in this, definitely more than is required to sell me on the idea of crazy killer Santa.
And he's clearly like a child-minded person because he catches him at one point and goes, "Okay, now it's your turn. I hide."
J'ai gagné. T'as perdu. Maintenant, c'est moi qui me cache. C'est toi qui t'y colle.
And then he runs off, and you're like, I'm not sure what's even happening here.
So he kills the dog at like roughly 30 minutes in. At the next roughly 30 more minutes, 35 minutes pass is that where you're like, wait, is this just and like your brain goes through and goes, no, he would have killed that kid there. He would have killed that kid there. He can't think he's playing hide and seek. What does he think hide and seek is? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like
he's
very
been trapped in a sauna for a time, like that, and tried to kill him, and never even stripped down out of his clothing. Like he's in a Santa suit, which is meant like it's not even just a costume suit because they were outside, so it's clearly actually a coat, and he's in a sauna that was cranked to the absolute max, which is an unbearable temperature.
One of the benefits of being rich, there is a gym with a sauna.
That gym is super nice. I do love how he like rolls himself on the carpet and like seals him in there. I thought that the way he dropped that weight, or the weight bar to trap him was a little dumb because I hate these type of things when they enable it so you can just rock it until it goes out. I'm like, once he's trapped in there, you can just wait there holding it. You're totally safe outside. He can't get out. Why do people always run away immediately?
People
or
are
be
scared.
like, Grandpa, bring the duct tape. Like,
s'il vous plaît, duct tape. No, yeah, yes, but like, you know, he's a kid, he's scared, he's doing his thing, whatever. But he's not scared because he runs off to make traps and to do things because he knows he's gonna get out. There were certain points where I was like, why is he still making traps? He just killed Santa, as far as he's concerned.
Yeah,
what's going on?
There's a couple things without payoff, I want to say, like the grenade. I thought that trap with a dud grenade should have been later on at some point. It should have just went off and like saved him or done something. Yes. I almost thought that was going to happen at the end when the grandpa shoots.
Because they're back in that same zone.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. No, that's weird too because Santa's so shocked that was on my other side where I'm like, oh no, he did think he was playing hide and seek because he was shocked and like betrayed when he sees the grenade that like didn't go off. He was like, that little bastard tried to kill me. He like he doesn't say that.
He was shot with like 6 darts in the neck and face earlier. So if he had any delusions that he's not being assaulted here,
I was still so puzzled by that look on his face when he's like looking at the grenade, like what?
That crossbow was like designed to fire darts. It had like knocks in it. I was like, did he do this? Like
this kid just gets every toy, no matter how dangerous. And because it's Europe, there's no rules. You can just own all these things.
I love this castle. I love when they show the exterior and it's a miniature. It's just like beautiful and it's a giant miniature because they like pan around it and do stuff. Okay. It's like super cool. And that means then there's also like sets, like because he's not actually 6 stories in the air hanging out of a building. Right. Like there's a set of the roof and cool stuff like that.
With like snow on it and the windows and everything.
Did you catch when he falls and like catches himself like on the edge of the building? It cuts to a cartoon briefly.
What?
Yeah. So it cuts to a silhouette of him and it's totally animated.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Are you high?
No, I'm dead serious.
Were you high when you watched it?
A little.
Okay. Damn. That's crazy.
Did you expect his friend on the bike to die?
I wanted him to die. In my notes, I'm like, like, I called him Young Pete because he reminded me of the younger brother on Pete and Pete.
I remember the Christmas Carol kid.
Yeah, I was like, this, because this is the kid who's like, Santa's not real. I'm French though. Let me do it.
Like Pilo?
Yeah, Pilo, whatever. Yeah, no, but I think that this is right after the stabbing, and it's kind of what saves our main.
It
kid.
Is, yeah, it is,
right.
The distraction.
He comes in, and then Santa chases that kid.
Yes,
but he's like, run, get out of here, and he has to go chase him, but then he gets away.
Because a car like gets between them and gives them enough edge to ride away.
So dumb.
I thought it was strange that they have this crazy long driveway that then goes to like the groundskeeper's house or whatever they are, the caretaker's house. And then from there's no driveway at all because he gets like 1 foot past that house and a car zips right through. And I'm like, wow, they live like on the road?
I had the same thought of like, why is there a car? Like I actually
You think
thought,
that's the mom or something?
Yeah. I actually thought, like I just said, like that car was one of the people who's racing towards the house.
Yeah.
Because they're not answering the phone.
Very strange.
What's going on? Oh my God.
Yeah. The mom has a cell phone. That's cool. And in
no
French they call it something else. I forgot now what it was like. The radio phone or something.
Oh God. Yeah, there's a reference to Minitel in there, which I looked up, and
is that a company?
Before the World Wide, I'm gonna say it. The World Wide Web. There was a like telephone-based communication thing called that. I'm not sure if it was just in Europe, but like yes, he could have like that's how they're calling Santa Claus on this weird message board internet thing.
Yeah, and faxing and doing all that jazz.
Sending emergency faxes to various people, but that he could have ordered stuff through there in this weird like pre-whatever
world. His computer
world.
setup is nuts. So like he has like some sort of 3D program where he modeled the house and the cameras are all linked to it and he's doing things.
Dude, when he's like showing that and like the camera, like the virtual camera's going to like show him the thing, and he's like, yes, and then he clicks and drags some icon onto his like armband, and now he's like he has to tell his dog, he's so excited, I control the cameras now with my armband.
Well, it's kind of amazing because it all makes like sense, not that in any way really.
No, it does.
But like that he has a 3D model building for the path of the cameras, and I'm like, yeah, that all kind of makes sense, I suppose. But they're not like automated to rotate. He's rotating them, but it's still very cool. His little whole getup he has here, where it's like. I used to see things like this, where like the screen was here and there'd be a mirror so you could see it this way. I'm like, I love that.
Or it's like glass and like set in there. Or it's on the side, some weird thing. Yeah. Because when he moves, there's like a depth that's like a weird thing.
It's super cool. I don't know what it is or how it's powered or anything works. He has the world's largest walkie-talkie that he talks to his grandfather with.
T'inquiète pas, papy. Je vais envoyer des messages de détresse un peu partout avec mon ordinateur.
before I forget, one more misstep I thought. I instead of the grandfather like shooting him and having the whole insulin problem, because that's kind of weird because the insulin thing seems like they did that wrong because the kid was already going to bed. If he was going to remind him of the insulin, I understand he forgot. Like, it would have been like long before that he should have taken it. And you think the grandfather's an adult, he could take his own damn insulin or whatever the fuck it is. But if you took the insulin part out of it, because it didn't really add that much to the movie, you could have had him, instead of shooting, a surprise where the granddad comes out of the knight armor and like swings a sword or something. And I think that would have been cooler.
Yeah, so like granddad's hiding in this suit of armor, which is the whole thing.
Well, and you're like, how could he possibly be standing that long? It's kind of nice that he's latched to the wall. That's actually a saving grace.
That's actually good too. How the kid struggles to like unhook the thing, and then struggles to like roll him over, and even goes like, ah. Like a kid would do, like can't do it. I like the kid a lot. That performance,
Until he takes his headband off and his hair's all weird. Like he had a weirdest mullet. Like it wasn't the right, like different parts were not long or too long and not right.
But that's that kid version of a mullet where it's like, hey, he cuts his own hair. I don't know, I'm rich. Yeah. Like I don't care. Like it's that mode. But yeah, so like granddad, grandpa, papa, like there's a whole running thing too. I like agree with you that because there's two things. There's insulin and there's can't see.
Yeah, he's blind.
And those things make sense together. But yes, like they do a great, horrible job of they constantly are showing you that he can't see.
Yeah.
To create this fake drama for that he might have shot the kid.
But the level that he can see, he's blind and shouldn't be able to do anything.
Exactly. It's like so blurry. The one cool part though is when he granddad wakes up, he's laying down, he's wearing half the armor, the gun's in the foreground, and you see him see the gun, and then it goes whoosh, and like turns blurry. And I was like, that's cool. That we did this weird shot with it. But everything else about it was super dumb. I never believed for a second that he was going to accidentally shoot the kid.
Did they show his vision before he lost his glasses? I thought they showed his vision twice, and it was both times it was that horrible blur. Yeah. So it would have been nicer if like with the glasses he could see a little bit more.
Exactly.
Because by what they displayed at the very end, at the very least, he has no vision at all.
No, he's trying to like play it off.
He actually killed that guy is shocking.
Well, it's just shoot at the red blob.
I actually would have loved and would have expected nothing less than him actually shoot his grandson.
Yeah.
Like not a kill shot, but wing him.
Because let's stop beating around the bush. I love the ending of this movie.
Yeah.
Because the mom rushes in. The kid has a 1,000-yard stare.
He's traumatized.
He's a killer now.
Yeah.
He's killed. He's got a taste for blood. And not only has he killed a person, he thinks that was really Santa Claus.
Yes.
So he's got
he's ended the joy for the whole world.
He snaps out of it and says to his mother, "It was my fault. I wanted to see him. I wanted to see Santa Claus."
Yeah.
And you would think, and if this movie was made today or in America, there would have been a reverse shot. Even if the mom doesn't have a line, she goes, "Oh," and makes a shocked face to help us all through this moment where this kid says, "It was my fault. It's all my fault." That's the least. The most is she goes, "No," and the granddad's like, "No, it's not your fault." And we all tell the kid it was not his fault. But this movie doesn't do that. This movie just glides the camera away from the kid onto the corpse of Santa Claus, freeze frames, and treats us to credits. And there's no after credits, right?
No.
It's just, "It was my fault," tears running down his muddy, bloody face, and it's just over. And that to me is so interesting and so crazy.
Well, it is all his fault. Had he been in bed like he's supposed to, he would have been murdered in his sleep. Would have had no struggle. Yeah. He would have dreamed of sugar plums, and it just would have been.
And Santa would have been free to go and bring joy to all the other kids all the world.
Bon, d'accord. Il a une intelligence hors du commun, mais ça l'empêche pas de croire au Père Noël, aux fées, aux elfes, à tout ça. C'est ça qui est bien avec lui. C'est un enfant comme les autres.
So Santa may actually have been the real Santa, I'll say. Because
sent to Earth, stripped of his powers, gone insane by the process.
He has all the powers.
Oh.
Because he is fast as shit, and he clearly teleports. Because there's a part where, like during that maze bit, he's behind him, doesn't even see the maze, and then is in the room that only has one entrance that's through the maze.
Tu veux que je te fasse ton numéro, Thomas?
He's in the backseat of the cop car. Yes. He does all these things where he's like, how the fuck did he get there? Like, and for how big this mansion is, it's a little strange that he even went back to that room that was like a dead end with the fridge in it in the first place to hear the grandpa trip. Yeah. Like, there's so many rooms. Like, I would have liked more of him exploring. You could have shown off this fucking crazy house, which may or may not be real.
Well, because like you know, it hints at the endlessness of this insane house that makes no sense. But I think that they are, at the end of the day, limited into like what they've built and what they can show. Yeah. So there is a lot of that reusing, because even the confrontation between the grandpa and Santa happens in the cavern of toys, right?
Yes.
Like, which makes sense based on how it happened, but still, like, yes, you're kind of reusing stuff. And at the end of the day, the dart trap and the other thing and the train back and forth is all in what looks to be like a real living room. So at that point, everything's gotten very small, and that's the same room where I think the showdown happens, the same room
based on just how big the model they're using for this house is.
Yes.
It would have been nice to be in like 7 different mansions, like just like, oh, we found all these mansions, and like he didn't have to like destroy them. He could have just been walking through rooms, so like it could have been in and out, like just set it up and go.
And it could have been dark. You wouldn't have to know. Yeah. Because you should have gotten, because like imagine it would have been 10 out of 10 outlandish to go into a room with like a bunch of statues or fountains or some weird,
like literally take him to a museum. Just walk to the museum.
Like, what is this? Or some crazy, or have the kid have done other crazy things with his action movie, like American war movie obsession, where there's like.
I'm surprised he didn't cue those on immediately just as a distracting noise.
Right? Yeah,
more he had that boiler that like is an industrial, like there's just steam shooting
where he lights them on fire in the basement. Yeah. That's where he buries the dog as part of the montage.
That I also thought was ridiculous. I'm like, in this thing where you should be hiding and like he could be anywhere, you're like setting up traps all leisurely with like how long it takes you to run wire and bullshit. Then you go back for your dog while you're crippled and should be hiding in like a corner. Yeah. You carry the dog, bury the dog.
That's why I thought it was a nightmare, because it's just all the things from all the movies that he's presumably obsessed with being brought to life through his kid weird Santa ogre like interpretation. But it is not, right?
No.
So that's why I was like, what's going on?
And like he's outside in his Rambo outfit, which is a sleeveless shirt with no shoes.
Right.
And like comes back into the attic, doesn't even close the window. I'm like, this kid, you ever like get really
very
cold?
Tough.
You know how long it takes to get warm again? And he's like hacking and doing things. I'm like, no.
I'm still cold. I was cold once in 1987, and I'm still cold to this day. Yeah, I think though that's not snow. That's just like white fluff.
Yeah, and I think that's almost a mistake for the movie. Is like maybe you should have chilled this kid up a bit or something. Like,
oh shit. So you're being critical of the kid's acting ability?
No, I actually love the kid. I'm critical of the filmmaker.
He couldn't act cold enough though.
Yeah. I forget, this filmmaker did something else too.
Oh,
he did a young Indiana Jones.
What?
Yeah. I don't think he did like them in their entirety. Okay. I think because those are like a lot of on location stuff. He probably filmed like the parts that's here and the parts that's there.
The parts there in France.
Yeah, I didn't look exactly up his
I didn't check anybody's credits because I was like, you're all French. Who knows?
Well, the kid is actually pretty successful now. He does, I think, like CG work, and it was like a lot of movies you'd seen before. You're like, oh shit.
Okay, nice.
You took that Santa money and got yourself an education.
That Santa money went to FX school.
Yeah.
The kid's like actually a genius. This is actually
it might be a biography. Yeah.
Yeah, right. This is his early life. I like that they acknowledge that they are so rich. Because this is not always consistent.
You almost have to.
You do have to, but I think and this may be my memory and my view of it. But I feel like a lot of movies that have the same formula as this, it's just like, that kid's just cool as fuck, and he has a robot making him pancakes, and like Cher just has a million clothing.
Well, you know just how rich they are because she says something like, if we don't get the money into the bank today and wait till Monday, our like interest we'll lose is millions. And you're like, oh shit, how much did you make today?
No, and like how many presents and like her job and how she owns the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like I like that.
That house on its own though, like you could have said, this kid's just cool as fuck, and you would have been like, they're rich. That house is so big. They call it the mansion because Bruce Wayne lives there. Like it is gigantic.
Oh, it's a Batman origin story.
It kind of is. Oh like, my God. His Batcave is a toy chest. Like,
yes, he's got a cave and his father left to him. Oh my God, that's perfect.
Ici, t'es chez moi et tu vas regretter d'être venu. T'as tué mon chien. T'as voulu tuer mon grand-père et tu m'as fait mal.
That kid fixing the car, I thought it was crazy, but it totally came around for me when he then drives the grandpa around. He's like no speeding. Blah, blah. It's a snowy, shitty mountain pass where like the mom loses control at one point.
Ici, t'es chez moi et tu vas regretter d'être venu. T'as tué mon chien. T'as voulu tuer mon grand-père et tu m'as fait mal. That kid fixing the car, I thought it was totally came around for me when he then drives the grandpa around. He's like no speeding. Blah, blah. It's a snowy, shitty mountain pass where like the mom loses control at one point.
And he's just like, I'm joyriding.
Listen, that's great because that sets up so like later you're not like, wait, can the kid drive? The kid's driving and like he's like radioing headquarters for the cop. He's driving the cop car and he radios in and he's doing like breaker 510-9. He's like doing all the shit and they're like, we read you. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
The kid can do everything.
He can literally do everything.
Batman.
I love when he's like, and maybe I get to see Santa Claus now and maybe catch him. Like.
I'll have evidence of Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, there's like a deep conversation with the grandpa about like the meaning of truth and reality, and like, well, we've never seen
Napoleon,
this.
cavemen, or Santa.
Well, you gotta be consistent. Yeah.
Père Noël, on n'a pas retrouvé son squelette au Père Noël.
Ah pardon. Le Père Noël n'est pas mort. Ah.
He like welds open a panel for fuses or whatever.
Yeah.
But doesn't have a key. I was like, this motherfucker has a blowtorch.
No, he freaks out like like now I'm screwed and we can't open it because my armband broke.
Yeah.
But yes, he has to, and he's literally like welds,
yes.
you know, cuts it open, torch cuts it open. It's crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Why not use that on Santa?
Why not use it on a door?
Oh. This is a charming Christmas tale about, you know, how wealth can't save you if you lie to your kids.
I just think this is a fun, like, I was surprised I had never really heard of this movie before. Yeah. And this is something that could totally be a Christmas tradition with like you and your friends, because you could throw it on and it wouldn't really do anything, but you look over and you'd be like, what the fuck is happening here?
What is this movie?
You know what I mean? Like a great on at a party movie.
Yeah. No, I think that there's a lot of barriers to entry, but it's one of those things, if you like weird things, cool things, whatever, it must be seen to be believed. It's such a strange thing, especially to come out of France when you're like, they're not allowed to do this.
And you get so tired of the Christmas movies you see every year over and over again. It's refreshing to have a new one.
Yes.
Well, Die Hard, Home Alone, a mixture of the two. It's like fate.
Have a few laughs.
Go to the coast, make a few drinks, have a few laughs.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition, now it's only us. Our expert staff